Hi everyone, my name is Halina Baeva. I'm a social work student doing my field practicum at Bainbridge Adult Day Care Center in Brooklyn. Today I want to share a case from my practicum. The client's name and personal details have been changed to protect her privacy. I will call her Marina. Marina is a 74-year-old woman from Ukraine. She came to the United States about 12 years ago. She speaks Russian and a little Ukrainian, but no English. She lives with her adult son and his wife in Bay Bridge, Brooklyn. Her doctor referred her to the center. She has serious problems with her legs and uses a cane. Medicaid covers her program and she gets then transportation to the center every day. Marina is a strong woman. She has been through a lot: immigration, loss, physical decline, and she kept going. She enjoys knitting and has a warm relationship with her son, but she also faces real challenges. 3 years ago, she lost her husband after 48 years together. At the center, she keeps to herself and doesn't connect with other people. She often says things like, "It's just old age." She minimizes her own pain. What she needs most is a safe space to talk, support in her own language, and some small connection with other people. Marina faces several barriers that are not her fault. The first is language. With no English, she depends completely on Russian-speaking staff. Without that, she is cut off. The second is ageism. When older adults feel sad or lonely, people often say that is normal as her age. Marina says this herself, which makes it easy to miss real problems. The third barrier is her immigrant experience. When she came to the United States, she lost her professional identity, her friends, and her sense of who she was. The fourth is her physical disability. Her mobility problems limit her independence, and being on Medicaid limits her access to services. Looking at Marina through a biopsychological lens, biologically, she has mobility problems, trouble sleeping, low appetite, and she rated her mood as 4 out of 10. Psychologically, she carries deep grief. Her husband died 3 years ago, and she has had very little support since then. In one of our sessions, she said she sometimes feels like she's just taking up space. I gently asked about suicidal thoughts. She said no, but I watch this closely every session. Socially, she does not connect with anyone at the center. At home, she tries hard not to be a burden to her son and his wife. Environmentally, she is isolated by language, limited by her body, and disconnected from her community. When I asked Marina what she hoped for, she did not use clinical words. She just said she wanted to feel less alone. That is where we start. In clinical teams, the short team goals is to build a real relationship and reduce her isolation. We measure progress with a simple mood scale from 1 to 10 at every session. I also plan to use the GDC 15, the geriatric depression scale at the beginning and again after 8 weeks. We also track whether she joins any group activities. She already made one small step when I mentioned the 19 group. She said maybe. That maybe is enough for now, the first. At the center, I do several things. I run group therapy sessions, a women's group, a men's group, and a mixed group. I also do individual sessions with Russian-speaking participants. For Marina, I am her main clinician. I also work as a cultural bridge. All our sessions are in Russian. This is not just practical, it's clinically necessary. A person cannot do real emotion work in a language she does not speak. I also join interdisciplinary meetings with physical therapy and nursing staff so we can look at Marina as a whole person. Inside the center, Marina has access to individual sessions with me, physical therapy, group programs, transportation, and meals. Outside the center, organizations like JASA and CSBS offer Russian language services for older adults. The New York Department for the Aging also has relevant programs. Ideally, I would connect her with a Russian-speaking grief support group. The challenge is that her mobility and language barriers make outside resources hard to reach. Part of my job is to help reduce those barriers. I want to be honest about what worries me. First, Marina's grief is serious and has gone without support for 3 years. I think she may meet criteria for complicated grief. Second, her words about feeling like she's just taking up space, even without suicidal thoughts, is something I take seriously every time I see her. Third, her habit of minimizing her pain is a real clinical risk. When someone always says it is just old age, depression can go unnoticed for a long time. And fourth, her isolation is clinically significant. Research shows that deep isolation in older adults is connected to cognitive decline and higher mortality. My main plan is to begin grief-focused individual work adapted to Marina's cultural values, her sense of strength, and not wanting to burden others' needs to be respected, not pushed away. I also want to use her interest in knitting as a gentle way to connect her with other people, not forcing anything, just creating a low-pressure opportunity. I plan to administer the GDS-15 to establish a clinical baseline, and with her permission, I would like to have a brief conversation with her son and daughter-in-law about the burden belief, because that belief is keeping her isolated at home too. Working with Marina has shaped how I think about research. I want to better understand how cultural values like being strong and not asking for help affect how older immigrants feel and express grief. I'm also more interested in bilingual clinical practice. Working in Russian is not a small detail, it's the center of the work. Marina's case also raises questions about why older immigrants become so isolated, and her description of her husband as the one person she did not have to be strong with connects to attachment theory, to Bowlby's idea that we need a safe base throughout our whole life, not just in childhood. That connection motivates me to learn more about attachment-based grief work. And I want to end with something Marina said in our first session. I asked her how her days felt lately. She said, like waiting, but I don't know for what. Marina is not a diagnosis. She is a woman who has loved deeply, survived a great deal, and is still waiting quietly for someone to notice. My work with her is just beginning, and I feel the weight of that responsibility. Thank you.